All right, it says I am live, so let me know if you guys can hear me over here. Excuse me. And let's get the live stream going. Let me go ahead and share the link here to Twitter. And today is, what, May 28th, 2019. And again, it's just a really late live stream. You know, let's see if we can get anyone joining in on the chat tonight. It looks like I got one person already joining in. Let's go to live chat, make sure everyone's able to be seen here. And let me just type out, make sure everything's going good here. Saying hello. Okay, hello. And let's find out what's going on here. Okay, so let me just make sure my live chat is working correctly here. We'll find out what's going on. Let's see. Maybe we get a few viewers tonight. Let me open up YouTube. Let me open up YouTube and let me get on my own live stream over here. Get on my own. That's how lame I am right there. I'm going to go like my own live stream. That's all right. Say hi if you just are joining in here, guys. Again, this is just a regular late night tech chat here. Not a lot of major things going on in the tech community or the tech world this week. I feel like it's been kind of a slow week. I haven't really been seeing a lot of tech YouTubers posting. There's obviously been a lot of news going around with Huawei. Huawei's, of course, having that government ban here in the U.S. So I think that's kind of a big thing because there's still a lot of people that use Huawei phones, and the fact that they're going to get kind of disowned by Google and whatever, minus the extension that was given to them recently. So I'm just like, whoa, like, that's gonna kill a lot of people that have those phones, especially if you just bought one of those phones recently. Okay, let me get out of here really quick. And again, if you just bought one of those phones recently, you might want to consider taking it back or returning it for something else. Just because you don't want to, lose that Android experience when it comes to like the Play Store and being able to download apps, which I think is just pretty crazy. And I know ZTE had the same issue a couple years back, so who knows what's going to happen? I mean, with that specific thing, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I think Huawei's a big enough company to rely on themselves to not like fold as a phone company, but at the same time, reading articles and hearing rumors saying that, that of course they're working on their own mobile operating system, which, it's not going to be the same as what you get with Android, obviously. But at the same time, I hear that you're still going to be able to use Android apps with it. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it is what it is. So, okay, let's see if we can get anyone going on here. I have no viewers right now. That's all right. It's all right. I might have to exit out and just make another video here. For those of you who are tuning in later on, if you guys are watching this whole thing right now, I am currently at 3.5 minutes right now, and I have had no one join in on my live streamer chat right now. So I don't know if that plays into YouTube's algorithm over here or notifications and what's going on with that. I just don't understand really like why it's happening or etc. like that. So I mean, I guess we'll find out later on. I just know that like, hey, like, I have close to 8,400 subscribers now, and the fact that I can't get like at least 2 or 3 viewers, it's a little frustrating. And if you're, hey, what's up, No Life? Hey man, thanks for joining in. I was just talking a little bit about Huawei and their whatchamacallit, their demise basically. And I was talking about YouTube's algorithm being really shitty, I guess, because again, I've been live streaming for about 4 or 5 minutes already, and I just haven't really been able to get anyone to join in, which again, it's being a small YouTuber is frustrating at times, man. Let's see, I just got me a free Vivitar action webcam for my bicycle. Nice, man. Oh, they hooked it up at Target or what? I'm drinking scotch here, by the way. No, it's actually sweet tea. How did that go? How did that happen, man? A Vivitar. I've actually owned Vivitar cameras in in the past. In fact, my first digital camera that I ever owned was a Vivitar, and I don't even remember exactly. I think I bought it at Walmart or wherever, Kmart or whoever was selling cheap digital cameras at the time. Hey, look, my dog's in the background. And for the most part, like, I think that camera didn't even have like it didn't have any type of LCD screen in the back, so, or any type of zoom in feature. So it was just like a little cheap, like $25 camera that you can take pictures with, and it only had like a built-in memory of maybe like, I want to say like 25 to 30 pictures. So once you fill that up, you basically would have to go upload the pictures to your computer, and then basically you would have to delete the pictures and then just go back in and retake whatever photos you wanted to take. It was the horrible camera, but for the time, I think that was back in like 2003 or 2004 for me. It was actually pretty solid. Like, I thought it worked pretty well for what it was that long ago. It was already almost 20 years ago. I can't believe I'm saying that, right? But it looks like we got one more person joining in here. So if you're just joining in, guys, say hi. This is Tuesday night tech chat with Mike B from BTech Reviews here. And I was talking about I guess how crappy the YouTube algorithm is also right now. I just uploaded a video earlier, by the way, guys. No Life, let me know if you got the notification of me uploading that video, because I uploaded that video like a couple of hours ago, and I don't know if people are getting notified that I'm uploading videos. You know what I mean? I mean, this was a video that I worked on today, and I edited it, and then I posted it up. So it was the video of the Nissan Pathfinder that I just recently got. So let me know if you were able to see that video and whatnot, and just go from there. No Life 2692, man. It's been a while, buddy. I don't remember if you had joined in on my last live stream, actually. So okay, so you're saying that the Vivitar action cam that you got is 1080p. Does it shoot at 60 frames a second also? Excuse me, I just ate, by the way. I would hope it shoots at 60 frames a second, by the way, man. Those action cams, I know that they're, especially cheap brands like that, I can't compare or give quality comments to. I feel like one of these days I want to go buy one just to see how bad they really are. And you can get them like off Amazon, or you can just go to Walmart or Target, like you said, and you can buy them. But like, as far as like the quality of the camera, like I don't know, like, especially action cams. Like, I've bought in cheap action cams off Amazon, and they work really cruddy. I don't know how to say that. Like, even though they have Sony sensors and whatnot, they're pretty horrible. So I mean, let's see. I'm not sure. Got it today. We'll be testing it tomorrow in the rain for safety. People drive crazy even when riding my bicycle. Searching on Target, it has good specs. Well, how much does this thing cost normally is my question. You know what I mean? That's pretty funny, actually, because I have a Target card and I could actually just order it online. Let's see. Now that you're saying that, I'm gonna go ahead and search it and see what I can find. This camera that you're talking about costs $46, man. Full HD recording, 1080p. They have another one that shoots in 720p, which I don't think anyone would want to probably buy that. I feel like even though it's 2019 and people are really crazy with 4K, that 1080 is still the standard when it comes to like high definition, at least. I'm looking at the camera here, man. It comes with a few attachments, which is pretty cool. Or I hope it comes with a few attachments. I don't know if I would want to invest money in something like that, though. It's pretty pricey for what it is. I could probably get it cheaper at Walmart, to be honest. But if it's your first camera, then that's cool also. Yeah, it's about $50. Online it says it's $46, so you should either take it back or go back and see if you can get credit for that, because it says right online $46.49 on Target's website. So, and then of course you still have to buy a micro SD card to put in it, so it's not like it has internal memory, you know what I mean? Come on, who else is watching me? Whoever's watching me, say something. Yeah, I'm all freaking out over here. I have that extra laying around, so I'm good. So yeah, that's good that you already have a micro SD card. But the thing about SD cards, especially ones that you shoot video with, is they have to have a specific rating on the SD card, man, for the video to actually come out decent. So I think as long as it says i10 on there or whatever, it's got to say i10, and that's basically like the speed that it reads and writes. I think that I think you'll be okay. So I mean, that's fine. I think I have several like micro SD cards laying around. In fact, I think I have one up here. Let me find out. One or two. Oh yeah, they're laying up here somewhere. Okay, sorry. I had my one of my lenses up here for my camera. So yeah, this is probably the most expensive micro SD card that I have right now. Let's see. Can I get this to focus? It's probably got like cat hair on it. But anyway, this one is what, 32 gigs. It's a SanDisk Gold, and I mean, this little SD card can record like in UHD, which is like 4K streaming. I haven't really used it, to be honest. Let's see. All I needed is the basic tool for a camera, and it looks good enough for me. I'm not picky. Yeah, well, I mean, like if it works for that specific cameraman, then good for you, dude. Like, no biggie, I guess. I feel like fixing that pillow back there, by the way, guys. It's bugging me. Hold on. Hey, my dog. Does that come out better, guys? I feel like I strained it out and that the Undertaker is right there. But anyway, okay, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, just do your research when it comes to like cameras and memory cards, man. I mean, you'd be surprised. Some just won't work well with others. So, I mean, before buying any type of cameras in the future, just look into that. So let's see. Google Pi. How does the LG Stylus 4 display compare to the iPhone 7's display? What's up, Google Pi? Obviously that's a good question. You know what's funny about that? I've never owned the iPhone 7 or the LG Stylus phone, but right off the bat, I can tell you first of all that the display size on the LG Stylo 4 is bigger. Obviously, it's got it's probably got a wider resolution as far as viewability goes. Obviously, the iPhone 7 has almost the same size screen as the iPhone 6 or the 6S, which is the 4.7-inch display. It's not going to be an OLED panel just because that didn't come out until like the iPhone 10. But for the most part, like if you're talking about clarity or anything when it comes to your actual phone screen, for the most part, even these mid-range Android devices are not going to be that bad. Most of them are IPS displays, IPS LCD, or HD plus displays is what they're calling them now, and they're really not bad. I mean, some of them do well, in like the daytime, or when you're actually out. iPhone screens are just always going to me, just always generally have been better as far as how they look. Like right here is my iPhone 10, right? And again, like, it's an OLED panel, obviously. I mean, I've had no issues with it, so. Take a look next time. Okay, hold on, next time. Give me a second, I'm responding to a friend there. Let's see. And it's okay, I don't know if Google Pi is still there, but that was a good question, Google Pi, by the way, on cameras and whatnot. So thanks for asking that question. Let's see. I just had a homemade egg rolls. Oh, homemade egg rolls. It was good. Okay. What camera do you use to record the live stream on? Are you asking what camera I'm using to live stream right now? Okay, that's a good question. Okay, let me show you if you're still there, actually. So let me take a picture of this so I can kind of show you what I'm actually recording on, and then I'll just flip it around here. So I am recording on this right here. Hold on, let's see. This is actually a Logitech. I forget the model number. It's a webcam, though. Let's see if you guys can see that. But that's what's recording me right now. It actually does record in 1080p, so that's why the shot's kind of a little wider than some other cameras. But for the most part, I know that the quality is not bad. They do sell more expensive webcams. I think I paid $30 or $40 for this one at Best Buy. I think I got it on sale. And the cool part about it is I can actually connect this to a tripod if I wanted to. which it's not bad at all. Like as far as the bottom portion of it, I mean, it has that little screw thread on it, so you can actually put something in on the bottom. But for the most part, it gets the job done. I mean, as far as live streaming goes, I really did not intend to use this for YouTube live streaming. Actually, I actually meant to use it for streaming on my Xbox. Because if you have an Xbox One or One S, excuse me, you can actually connect any webcam to it, and you can use it to stream via Mixer. The only thing about those webcams is they will not work with Twitch. By the way, I don't know why Microsoft only has it set to where you can live stream with these webcams only on their own app, which is Mixer. And I don't know if a lot of people watch Mixer as far as like live streams go. Okay, I was thinking about doing a stream about bicycle riding. I am going to try using the camera I got to see how it goes. Well, if you're going to do that, man, just be very careful. I mean, I hope you have mounts for both your cell phone or whatever you're going to be used to live streaming and your GoPro or your wannabe GoPro, I guess. Because again, if you're riding and something happens, you fall, your tech is going to go down with it. So just be very careful. I remember buying a cheap bicycle mount from my phone a couple of years ago, and it's still on my bike. My bike's in storage right now, though. And yeah, it's a knockoff GoPro. I know. I have a knockoff GoPro also, so don't feel bad. Don't feel bad, buddy. And No Life, thanks for keeping the chat alive tonight. I'm going on 15 minutes. Let's see. Oh, Google Pie responded. Let's see what Google Pie says. Oh yeah, the LG Stylus 4. I mean, even though it's already a year in the making or whatever you want to call it, it's still a good phone. I mean, it gets the job done. I don't see the reason, and that's probably why they haven't come out with the LG Stylo 5 yet. A lot of other tech YouTubers are saying like, hey, why hasn't LG put out this device, or why what are they waiting on, etc. like that. But for the fact of the matter is, I feel like device longevity is becoming more of a long thing now. You know what I mean? Like yes, technology is always changing and whatnot, but for the most part, like most of us keep these devices for more than a couple years, depending on the person. So like me, for instance, this is my daily driver again, which is my iPhone 10. I've had this since the phone came out, and I have not wanted to get another phone to use as my daily driver. Obviously, I do have other phones, like I have the what is this? The G3 Plus. I have the Umiji GA3 Pro here, and I think I have the right there in the background. You can see the Moto G7 is on the couch. So I mean, for the most part, those are my review units, but I do not use those as my dailies. So this is my daily. My iPhone 10. It has all the apps I need. It has everything set up the way I want it already. It's fast, obviously. I mean, a lot of people will bash on Apple for being very simple and plain, but the fact of the matter is, Apple, makes great devices. Their software works great, and there's really little to no lag as far as phone usage, and that's why I have stuck with Apple for the most part. Let's see. I just wish that the iPhone allowed FM radio tuners enabled built-in, and that's one thing that some people are going to kind of complain about, which it's understandable. That should be kind of a thing for all phone manufacturers to have, especially when it comes to things like phone outages being a thing, and you might have to turn on some sort of radio waves in order to get any type of news. Not a lot of people own radios anymore, like which is really stupid. You know what I mean? But people don't own old school AM or FM tuner radios, so 2019, a lot of people just get their music or media from their phones. So why not? That's a good thing. Why not enable these devices to have that capability? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. Yes, you can download apps like TuneIn Radio and whatnot, but you still have to have some sort of data connection to use it, which to me, it's like, you shouldn't have to have a data connection to listen to like radio, especially if the radio is going to be like filled with ads and whatnot. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Google Pie says the LG Stylo 4 has good specs for what it is. So yeah, I mean, and again, for the most part, that's going to be it's going to be a phone that might last someone a few years. I personally have never gotten my hands on it. I've never owned a Stylo device, so if I were to ever get one, which would probably, I would wait until that one's like really marked down super low. just to review it. And for the most part, I don't know why. I don't see the use of having to have one of those little stylus pens or whatever. Like, to me, it's just really like it's not invalid unless like I have to draw something like all the time. You know what I mean? Mhm. But all right, guys. I mean, keep coming up with questions over here, man. I actually have to print out labels for these two Funko Pops that are sitting down there, the two Oscar Pops. I actually sold them on eBay, so I'm actually gonna print out a label for that, and I'm gonna box it right now, just because I have to ship that out tomorrow before I go to work, and I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna wake up early enough to ship these out. I hope I do. I hope I wake up early enough. Let's see. I still can't believe that Huawei phones are shutting down. And yeah, I was talking about that a little bit before you stepped in. I mean, they're not shutting down as a company. What is the biggest tech flop of the 21st century? Google Pi. The biggest tech flop of the 21st century, as far as, and I'm gonna go with like the anything after the millennium right now, which is 21st century, obviously, right? But anyways, I guess for me, the biggest tech flop would have to be Samsung's Galaxy Note 7 debacle. That was just a really bad thing from when it happened a couple of years ago. And I'm sure they lost so much money, and I feel really bad for anyone that bought or pre-ordered a Samsung Galaxy Note 7, just because like at the time, like that was that specific phone was highly regarded as one of like that. I mean, basically it was phone of the year minus its problems. You know what I mean? It had the best camera, the best screen, whatever you want to, the best performance. But again, the phone's blowing up and setting people's houses and cars on fire was just, it's a big no-no, man. And I'm pretty sure they lost, billions of dollars because of that. You know what I mean? So, and all of those phones that were mass produced, I mean, who knows? I feel like I wish I could get my hand on a Galaxy Note 7 just to see what it felt like to have one. You know what I mean? And it was a good looking phone. Yeah, you're right. So the fact is that, yeah, that phone was, supposed to be the flagship to have of that year. And a lot of people were saying like, oh yeah, no, I mean, it's gonna kill the iPhone and whatnot. And then the phone killed itself, which is just really stupid. And since then, obviously, probably the second biggest tech flop would have to be Samsung's foldable phone, which all these tech reviewers posted up videos and whatnot, and then you saw the problems with that. As far as Apple goes, I know they've had issues with their battery life on some of their older devices, and the software updates making the phone very not unresponsive, but not as user friendly after some specific updates, so that it saves battery life. It's just that I remember that was a big deal with people, especially for people that were holding on to their older iPhones. But yeah, I mean, Bendgate also, which was Apple's iPhone 6 or 6S, and people complaining that the phone was bending in their pockets, and a lot of people were just having issues with that. I just thought that was crazy. You know what I mean? I mean, luckily I never had issues with any of my iPhones. I've only owned 2 or 3 iPhones, by the way, guys. I own 2 iPhone 6S's and then the iPhone 10. So, and prior to that, I was using Android phones all the time, guys. So by the way, guys, if you guys want to throw out a super chat, I would be very grateful. You know what I mean? I do like to do these live streams, but sometimes they can become tedious at times. So if you guys would like to donate to this YouTube channel, obviously the super chat option is there in the corner. If you guys are able to, thank you. If not, then that's okay, no worries. But just a friendly reminder that us small tech YouTubers have to, we have to earn a little bit of side revenue as well. So let's see. It will It will till the iPhone. That'll only happen if it blows up next to an iPhone, therefore killing an iPhone. Okay. Apple needs to work on the product that has too much issues with laptops in the newer lines. That's a good valid point, by the way. So, okay, Apple needs to work on the product line has too much issues with laptops in the newer line. So, okay, so that's a good point. Personally, I mean, aside from their phones, Apple's laptops and Mac iMacs and whatnot, you know, they're very good computers, but at the same time, they're very expensive. And, you know, a lot of the time Apple rolls out updates for these, you know, which again, just like the iPhones are just marginally better than, you know, the prior year. Right now I have a MacBook Pro that, you know, I still have since I was in college, by the way. And this is a 2014 model. It's 2015. This MacBook is 5 years old. And I have it right here sitting on my desk right in front of me. This MacBook is almost 5 years old, and it still works just as good as the day I got it, which, you know, I have no issues. It's updated to all of the newer versions of Apple or whatever, Mac OS. I remember when I bought this laptop, I think I don't remember which version of Mac it was running. I think it was still running Mavericks or either Mavericks or Yosemite. And right now you have like Mojave, so like it updates just like all the iPhones. It had, you know, the only thing that I think that this laptop has is its heating issues. But again, this is an older laptop, so, and it's a dual core. It's not a quad core processor. So for the most part, you know, when I'm editing or doing something heavy where there's more than one app in the background, you do hear the fan in it start to get a little loud, which I didn't have a problem with at first, and then I started noticing it after a while. So. Let's see. Also, No Life says, also my MacBook Pro from 2011, 13-inch, I installed macOS Mojave, which is not post to there, and hacks allowed me to. So replace the thermal paste, bro. All saw the video on the Nissan. Okay, so you saw the video on the Nissan S-Bear. S-Bear, welcome back, man. Oh, finally, I get some YouTubers that actually like me, man. It's been a while, man. But good to see you, S-Bear. Hope everything's good, man. And thanks for watching that video. Sorry if the video was a little unbearable, by the way. I was actually shooting on one of my phones. I was shooting with the Moto G7, and I just did not realize how bad the wind was. And I kind of thought about it while I was shooting. I was like, I wonder how bad the wind noise is going to be. I tried reducing the wind noise in whatchamacallit, what's that app called? Adobe Premiere. And the noise just would not go away. So, but yeah, man, I mean, for the most part, I still have my MacBook Pro from 2014 that I bought. I think I bought it in 2015, actually, but it was a late 2014 model. And this specific MacBook, I still use it. You know, if I'm going to edit, I'll use it like iMovie or Adobe Premiere. Our dog, what's up, man? Thanks for watching the video. If you guys can like, please give this live stream a like, and please give that video a like. I mean, I want it to get a little bit of love. And again, I was saying, Art Dog, that I'm sorry if the wind noise was a little much in that video. It was really windy that day. But I do plan to post update videos on that Nissan. By the way, the Nissan is not mine. It belongs to my father. But him and I are gonna, you know, hopefully fix it up or work on it together. And I want to post those updates as it comes. So whatever he decides to do and whatever I decide to do with that, we'll go ahead and continue posting update videos. And I hope to get a video of it going off road one of these days. It is a 4x4, so I want to, you know, do little things like post off-roading videos, especially with that ride, just because, you know, that's the reason why my dad bought it. He wants to take it somewhere where he can take it off road, whether it be the beach or somewhere here where we live. So, you know, I feel like, I don't know why, I've been getting into those off-roading videos. And if you follow other YouTube channels, you'll see like how cool and how hard it is for some of these vehicles to get out of some of those tight spots. So let's see. Everyone's saying hi to each other. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in tonight. I didn't think I was going to get anyone. The first 5 minutes of this live stream was just me and No Life over here, I believe, and Google Pi or something like that. Google Pi. Google Pi says USB-C should be on the iPhone 11. You know, I've thought about that for a while now, actually. I'm just like, well, why is Apple, you know, making their laptops and they're transitioning all of their laptops from, you know, traditional, like whatever they used to charge, to USB Type-C, right? And I think to myself, why are their iPhones not? But I feel like because people are just so accustomed to using the Lightning port, which it's very simple and it works also, I guess, the Lightning charger. You know, I feel like Apple shouldn't have to, you know, have that. But I guess as far as an ecosystem goes, it only makes sense for them to transition over to USB Type C and to kind of kill off the Lightning port, just because. Sorry, my dogs are like getting up and they're like looking at me over here. So I don't know. But anyway, like let me show you guys really quick. There's Sophia right there, and there's Henry, and there's my deodorant, by the way. It's all good. Can't really control the weather. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Hey, okay, No Life says, do you know how to replace thermal paste? It's very easy on your Mac. It will. I mean, and you know, it's not so much about the thermal paste. I just don't want to open up my MacBook, man, honestly. Like, I don't want to mess with any of the components. I think I would rather probably hire someone to actually do that for me, a professional, because I'm not a professional. I mean, I built the computer I'm streaming on, by the way. But for the most part, I am not a professional when it comes to taking apart a laptop or a Mac specifically. And I would not want to do it, to be honest, because imagine if I did and then something happened. That's a $1,300 investment down the drain because I did something wrong, whether I wasn't wearing a static glove or something like that. Or that's the thing. Yes, you know I can do it on YouTube, or I can learn how to do it just by you know, posting whatever YouTube videos or looking at YouTube videos. But I just don't want to do it. By the way, let's get the sunglasses on, guys. Time to rock out. By the way, I'm gonna look cool with you guys. By the way, just so I can get more viewers. Guys, again, if you guys are joining in, if you can possibly, if you have the moolah to send maybe a small donation or super chat to this channel, I would be very grateful. By the way, again, thank you guys for being my subscribers and my viewers. I am super appreciative of it, by the way. And I want to give shout outs to guys like BTech, RJ, Kevin Breeze, Tito Escobar, aka Aloha Android. Let's see. Esper says they probably are reluctant to switch to USB-C because they can't charge a premium. They can't charge a premium for MFI certified cables like they can with Lightning. That's very true, actually, and we all know how expensive Lightning cables are still for it being 2019. They're still a pretty penny. I feel like it's so funny that when smartphones started, obviously micro USB was the rage, right? And I feel like there's still some people that still have phones that use micro USB charging ports. So, like for instance, this Umidigi A3 Pro. Let me see if you guys can see that or not. But this is actually, it's not a Lightning and it's not a USB Type C. It's a micro USB port. So a lot of people hated it because they could never figure out which side was which, I guess. But for the most part, you know, I feel like micro USB could still be relevant in some ways. You know what I mean? As far as USB Type C, you know, I'm still only seeing it really in the flagship devices as far as Android. I mean, I'm not really seeing it in a lot of the lower budget devices. There have been a few phones that I have used that have used USB Type C under $100. But like again, another example of this is the CoolPad canvas, and you can see there that's micro USB right there. That's not that's not whatever you want to call it. That's not USB Type C, and it's not Lightning. So. Yeah, I need to sleep soon. It's getting late. Awesome live stream. Our dog, man. Come on, man. What's up, Frank? How's it going, man? Moto Guy's power has Type C. Yeah, I mean, yeah, most of Motorola phones do. I mean, even their Moto E lineup, I think, has USB Type C ports, which there's nothing wrong. Again, there's really nothing wrong with it. I feel like, you know, I think it's the point though where it kind of stinks if, you know, you have a friend that goes over to your house and they need to charge their phone and you just don't have a specific charger for them because they either have an iPhone, they have an Android, and you don't. It's always the opposite. You know, you're going to be the one that has the iPhone, they're going to be the one that has the Android, you know, or vice versa, you know. So it's just really stupid, I think. Like, I feel like people have to carry around their specific wires. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the G7 Power has USB Type C, and I think even last year's versions of the Moto Gs all had USB Type Cs. I mean, I remember reviewing the Moto G6 and it had the USB Type C. So So, okay, let's see. Most budget phones under $100 are still USB. Things are changing towards Type-C. Yeah, I think the last budget phone that I had that did have USB Type-C was actually the blue Vivo Go. I think, if I recall correctly, that one had USB Type-C. And again, that was like a $70 or $80 smartphone. Although that phone was a really shitty phone also. It was a really crappy phone, guys. So, guys, thanks for joining in on the chat. I'm so happy to have people here chatting with me tonight. Again, if you guys can throw out or afford a super chat, make a small donation to my YouTube channel. Again, it's the end. It's almost the end of the month, so I need to try to get as many views as possible, so I can be banking it next month, if you know what I mean, with that extra income revenue. And if you guys aren't aware, my channel is monetized for money. So let's see. I'm not a big fan of Go phones. Yeah, to be honest, Go phones really shouldn't exist. I feel like it's just manufacturers' ways of I guess, going cheap, because I think most of those Go phones have 1 gig of RAM, which it's like, come on, it's 2019, dude. At least put in 2 gigs. Like, that's got to be like the standard, right? I feel like those Go phones would like run like twice as good with 2 gigs of RAM, obviously, right? Because it's 2 gigs instead of 1. Opinion on the Pixel 3a. That question was by S. Bear. My opinion on it is it's probably going to be this year's best budget device, but at the same time, is $400 really a budget device? I mean, but again, you know, you still, these mid-rangers, even though they're getting better and better, you know, I feel like, you know, the prices are not going up, or they're not going down. You know what I mean? You know, one device I can really tell you guys that were flagship specs that ran great. The one that I've ever owned were the Nexus 4 and the Nexus 5, guys, by the way. So I remember the Nexus 4, I think I purchased it for $249. You know, it had a Snapdragon S4 Pro processor, quad core at the time. It ran like butter, man. That phone was smooth and buttery. You know, there was no issues for me moving to app, and that phone was less than $300. It had NFC. It had, I think it might have had wireless charging at the time also. I'm not 100% positive. I don't remember ever buying a wireless charger for that phone. But it was just a beautiful device. The build quality of it was great. It was an awesome phone to have. The Nexus 5 came out, and it was still a freaking great phone. Build quality had gone down a little bit. Excuse me, guys, by the way. But again, the build quality had went down on that specific device, but, you know, the phone's performance did not let down. The only crappy part about the Nexus 5 was the battery, but, you know, I still highly regard the Nexus 5 as probably my favorite Android phone that I've ever owned, because it was just so buttery smooth. It just ran great. The screen was the perfect size. I felt like it was very pocketable. It was just a great phone. Like, I just love that phone. Oh, we have another. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I feel like Go phones are aimed for the people developing countries where phones with 2 gigs of RAM is too expensive. That might be the case, you know what I mean? And we're talking about like third world countries over here. I mean, what's up, Navi Nash Streamer? How's it going, man? By the way, thanks for joining in tonight. A lot of people are constantly comparing the Pixel 3a phones to Nexus phones. Well, and they should, because, you know, it's made by the same company, obviously, Google. The only difference between Nexus phones and Google phones are Google phones and Pixel phones are not branded phones. So they're not branded to anyone specific like LG or Motorola or Huawei, right? So that was the only difference. What you know, the difference between what Nexus was, you know, Nexus, again, which was, again, that brand of specific phone, they jumped from carrier or maker to maker. You know, they started off with, I believe, HTC. The first Nexus phone was made by HTC, and then the second one was made by Samsung. You'd be surprised, right? But Samsung actually made the second Nexus device, which was the Galaxy Nexus. And that was, it had a cool name. And the cool thing about the Galaxy Nexus is it had a curved screen, guys, by the way. So people are freaking out like today with all these flip screens. Well, back then Samsung was making like curved displays that were going around like that on their phones. So I thought, you know, that was a lot different back then. And then of course you had LG for the most part make a lot of the other rest of the, you know, Nexus devices. So you had LG make the Nexus 4, the Nexus 5, and the Nexus 5X. You know, so for the most part, LG made a bulk of the Nexus devices, and you know, the main point of that was, again, the price points were a lot lower, but the phone's performance did not lack. Okay, so you know, the thing I feel that Pixel is gearing everything towards is just picture taking, and that's it. You know, and a lot of these smartphone enthusiasts, whether they be top tech reviewers, are saying the same thing, that it takes good pictures or the best pictures. It has the best camera on a smartphone. But you know, as far as device performance, everybody complains. You know, everyone's saying, "Hey, this device is just not performing like where it should be," and that's, you know, that's obviously because, you know, with the Pixel 3a, for instance, you know, they had to, you know, they had to cheap out with the processing power. You know what I mean? And so they went with a processor that was not as highly spec'd out as the actual Pixel 3, right? S Bear says, I used to really want the LG Nexus 4. It was a great device, man. I regret ever selling it, I guess, or not keeping it. I didn't keep it as long as I would have liked to, and the reason being is because I bought it probably like 5 months before the Nexus 5 came out. And then once the Nexus 5 came out, I used that as my daily driver, and I ended up selling my Nexus 4 to, I believe, an old friend of mine. So, or maybe online, I don't remember. I remember selling it though, but to me, the Nexus 4 was a beautifully built phone. Had a great screen, even though the bezels were a little thick. It was cool. Even the little LED notification light, it changed colors with the app notifications. So like, let's say you got a Facebook notification, it would change to blue. If you got a Twitter notification, it would change to the color of the Twitter logo. If you got a Snapchat notification, it would change to the color of that specific color. I thought that was freaking awesome, by the way, guys. Like, you don't see that in smartphones nowadays. I mean LEDs. First of all, LEDs. Let's show you guys this one really quick. See if this. You see that LEDs are pretty much gone on smartphones nowadays. So. Our dog says, see, I'm glad that you mentioned that because I can't overlook the Pixel's poor performance rates as easy as others. And that's the thing, man. Like, you know, you're right about that. You know, people are going to complain about the performance. For the most part, like, if you're not going to nitpick to the core about how the performance is, most users will say that it does what it needs to do. You know what I mean? But for me, like, I mean, I think after a while I would get frustrated, you know? I feel like the only Android devices that really perform on par to where the Nexuses were currently are probably just the OnePlus phones or Motorola devices, because Motorola devices really run on pure vanilla Android, minus little features that they add in with the Moto mods. But for the most part, all of the Motorola devices that I have had have been plain vanilla Android. They don't add any skins or any extra like stuff that you don't really need. And, you know, they run for the most part pretty smooth. I mean, yes, you get a little bit of stutteriness, but again, that goes with the specs of the phone depending on what it is, you know. All right, guys, what else? I still have 3 people here. Thanks for showing up tonight, guys, by the way. I'm glad to have you here, by the way. I love that. I love talking about tech, and I love the fact that my 3 fans that are here with me right now are still here with me chit-chatting about tech. So let's see. Once I bought a OnePlus, my expectations went up for premium phones, and it's true, man. You know, OnePlus does what Nexus used to do. As far as the phone performance goes, you know, I think there's really no other Android phone out there, you know, that is on that level of performance and snappiness. You know what I mean? I mean, unless you can compare it to like the S10 Plus or whatever, you know what I mean? Which, you know, I'm not a Samsung guy anymore. I haven't been for the longest time. If I were to review a Samsung phone, like a flagship phone, someone would have to give it to me, literally, because I don't think I would. First of all, their phones are more than iPhones already, which is ridiculous. Like, I mean, even their lowest spec S10, which is the S10e, is still an $800 phone, or $800, and it's just like, why? Like, why do phones need to be this expensive? You know what I mean? Like, does my phone need to have 10 gigs of RAM? No, it doesn't. I mean, some have that feature, obviously, but do I need 10 gigs of RAM? Does my iPhone 10 have 10 gigs of RAM? No, but does it perform like a beast still? Yes. You know what I mean? And it's only because of software, guys. Oh, hello, we got another viewer here. Pat H. She says they had to raise the bar because of Apple, and that's the thing. She's totally right, by the way. That Apple, as far as performance goes, is up there. But you know what? Apple has the right to charge $1,000 for their phones because their phones perform immaculately. Okay, and I'm not just saying that as someone that uses an iPhone on a daily basis, but I'm saying that because I've used both versions. I've used Android and I've used some of the best of Android and some of the best of Apple, and I can totally agree that yes, Samsung did have to raise the bar, but at the same time, are their phones performing on the level that iPhones do? You know what I mean? Aside from gimmicky things like the camera, which that's always going to be a thing. I feel like people have to have a good camera on their phones nowadays. Like, why don't you just go buy an actual camera? You know what I mean? Like, if you want a good camera, go buy a DSLR, go buy a mirrorless. I feel like people focus on just one thing too much, and they're not looking at the bigger picture. You know what I mean? Samsung phones for Donald Trumps of the world. I don't get the reference, Frank, but okay, man, it's all good. But very valid points, guys, as far as the phones go. I like it though. Let's see. And Pat says it's because people want everything at their hands. It's the sacrifice we make, and it's kind of crazy that we do make these sacrifices for something as tedious as a smartphone nowadays. But if you think about it, this little thing that's in our hand does so much for us nowadays. It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, if I wanted to, I can sell all of my camera equipment and I can do everything that I do for this YouTube channel on this iPhone or any of the phones that I have, guys. Am I going to get the same quality as I would from a video, an actual shooting camera? No, probably not. Am I going to get the same picture quality? No, I'm not going to get the same picture quality, especially when it comes to like a regular camera like that, because you don't have that integrated software and all those little features that you can do with a smartphone. You know what I mean? And that's why smartphones cost so much. You know what I mean? Pat says, like when they had created that Nokia camera, which was a phone, not sure if it was the Nokia. I think I know which one you're talking about. The one that had it had like 16 cameras on that phone, actually. And our dog says that's how I view camera phones also. But it's pretty crazy, like what these phones can do for us. By the way, I mean, I do my mobile banking on this phone. I can deposit checks. I can FaceTime with someone. I can communicate with someone on the other side of the world with this. If I wanted to, I can write an essay. I can download Microsoft Word or whatever, or Open Office or whatever softwares that there are, Google Drive, etc. And I can literally, I have access to so many things from this little device or all of our smart devices, guys. It's just pretty crazy the amount of tech that goes into something that fits in the amount of your pocket. You know what I mean? And sometimes I feel like we take our phones for granted at times because the younger kids nowadays are just never going to know what we had to go through in order to get a picture or to look something up as far as information goes. You know what I mean? Because when I was a kid, I had to go print stuff out at our local library because I didn't have a computer or I didn't have a printer at home. It's like now you have Bluetooth access from your phone or laptop. So like, I'll just give you guys an example. Like my laptop, I had it connected to my school's network. I was able to wirelessly print something in a different building and go pick it up at a printer in another building from my laptop or from my phone, guys. So that's just how crazy tech has gotten nowadays, and I feel like people are super spoiled with it. Let's see. Our dog says I rarely use my old laptop anymore because I rarely need it now, and that's the thing. All devices like laptops and home desktops, they're kind of becoming a thing of the past. Yes, we still need them for work, depending on what type of job you have. If you're a video editor by any chance, wink, wink. Or if if you just have some sort of desk job where you have to be in front of a computer and have access, but for the most part, specs nowadays on newer computers are relatively fickle, in my opinion. I think they just do enough just to get the job done. You know what I mean? But for the most part, if you're going to be like someone that does video production or audio production, you need a very spec'd or decked out computer. And for the most part, you can shoot and film with your phone, but you might not get the same video and audio quality that you would get from a professional camera. You know what I mean? So, I mean, a lot of people don't realize, hey, man, that you still need these other devices just to use that. Yeah, agreed. They have smaller devices like the Surface and laptops, etc. I mean, and again, for the most part, some people just don't use. There's not the market for laptops in 2019 is not what it used to be in 2009. You know what I mean? I remember still going to school back in 2009, and I remember when people were carrying around netbooks. I don't know if you guys remember what netbooks are, but they were like miniature laptops basically. And I had one. I remember buying one, and I thought it was so cool to have that. And this was before like smartphones were like ginormously huge. This was before like iPhones and like Androids were like competing to kill each other basically, right? But I remember taking my little netbook to class, and I was over here typing away on my netbook, taking notes, and I felt cool because I had that while people were still over here writing their notes down on the notebook. You know what I mean? And for the most part, because my wrist and my hand would lock up every now and then from taking notes manually, it was easier for me to just type out my notes. You know what I mean? And yeah, but the thing is with portable devices like the Surface is they're not cheap. They're still relatively expensive. Like Surface, the new Surface laptops are like $1,000+. You know what I mean? Ooh, excuse me, guys. That spaghetti I ate is kickbacking, if you know what I mean. But yeah, guys. I mean, for the most part, like it's just pretty crazy the amount of technology that we have nowadays, and how I feel like the younger generation, but not only the younger generation, but us, we take it for granted as well because we can do so much. Literally, again, I can shoot and edit all of my YouTube videos on this phone, and there be like no issues. Like literally, this phone has iMovie. I can edit on my phone, or I can even download like a version of Adobe Premiere and download it. So let's see. Pat H says your future is so bright. You got to wear shades. I just do it to look like Casey Neistat, by the way, because Casey Neistat, that's his thing, by the way. So and I'm wearing my BTech hat, BTech reviews, guys. So don't forget to buy my merch. Not yet. If I ever become a big YouTuber and you guys see this 10 years from now, you'll be like, man, I remember when BTech Reviews didn't have merch and now he does, right? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Casey's channel, by the way. I mean, he is actually going in the process of moving from New York, so it's going to be a big change for him. He's moving to California, so I'm interested to see like how his channel changes during the move and whatnot, because it's going to be a lot of work for him. He's leaving a studio in New York. I don't know what's going to happen to 368 or whatever, but I think that's still pretty crazy. But yes, guys, any questions or comments or things that you guys want to continue talking about here? The conversation got a little light from Frank, Art Dog, Navinash. And again, anyone that would like to send a super chat and make a donation to this channel, go ahead and hit that super chat button below. So, we can take, I'm down to take donations, even if it's $1, guys, by the way. That always helps. Pat H is asking, what is new for BTech Reviews channel? Well, Pat H, I was actually thinking of doing this challenge where you drive to any restaurant drive-through window, and then you let the person in front of you order. You know what I mean? So, no, I'm just kidding. So, no, I'm not going to do that, or at least not right now. I think that's interesting, though. But no, as far as my YouTube channel goes, I mean, right now I'm getting close to 8,400 subscribers. So my channel is slowly growing. The amount of subs I've been getting has been very minimal as of the past couple of weeks. So I feel like I'm only getting maybe like one new subscriber every day. So it's been kind of disappointing for the most part. I'm still putting out content. I'll still put out videos. I'm still doing live streams. I did post up a video on that Nissan Pathfinder that me and my dad got a few days ago. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. I mean, it's gonna, that video is always gonna be there. I hope that video gets 1 million hits eventually. What's up, Jigga Jig? I'm not gonna say the other word. How's it going, man? Not much, man. I'm just answering some questions. We're having a chat about tech. We were just got done finishing talking about like how tech has basically changed our lives in the past like 10 years and whatnot. You know what I mean? And I was just talking about the update on this channel. Frank V. Crawford says, "I told you your channel would grow." It's taking time, man. Honestly, I feel like last year it was growing at a quicker rate than it is this year. I'm hoping, during the summer, though, there's just a lot of people that stay home and watch videos all the time and just do nothing with their lives, though, right? Because, if that happens, then I'm going to get a lot of hits. But anyways, as far as this channel goes, I'm just going to continue making tech videos, obviously. From time to time, I might do vehicle videos, especially update on the cars that I have or working on, etc., like that. I might have a friend that might let me review her Nissan Versa from 2009. So I don't know. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. Even if I start with all these old school cars, I don't mind doing it. But anyways, I mean, for the most part, I'm just going to continue producing content. You know what I mean? The heat sucks, by the way. Oh yeah, Frank, man, don't go, man. That's all right. Frank, have a good night, man. Thanks for joining in tonight. I really appreciate you joining in on this live stream tonight. It is late, by the way. It's already after midnight, which I'm surprised some people are still up. Do I know a good way to delete a virus? Yes. If you have a Windows desktop, go to download.com and download the software called Malwarebytes. Okay, Malwarebytes is a very good software that you can download that will remove viruses and Trojans. Okay. Pat H says, "What would you guys like to see on this channel?" More challenges. And that's the thing, like, I don't get a lot of requests from my YouTubers except for like me dancing around during my live streams. Whoa. But yeah, it's called here, let me spell it out for you, Jigga Jig. It's called Malwarebytes, like this, okay? You can Google it also. And you might have to space it out. It might be malware and then bytes, like this. But yeah, I'm typing that out for you so that you can see that in the chat. But yeah, man, for the most part, I mean, check it out. It's a free software, man. There is a paid version of it, but who really buys those paid versions of antivirus softwares, man? There's a lot of free antiviruses out there, by the way. So if you guys aren't aware of that, there are free antiviruses. You don't have to use Norton or McAfee or whatever virus softwares come with your computer. For the most part, I think the newer Windows stuff comes with Windows Defender. So me, I've been using Windows 10 for a while now. I have not had to download an antivirus software. I just haven't had to do it. You know what I mean? Jigga Jig, if you can, man, please make a donation to this YouTube channel. Hit that super chat button below, man. I appreciate that. If you can, it's cool. I feel like I'm asking all my viewers, hey, send a super chat, guys, even if it's just $1, man. Shoot. Yeah, it does take a little while to do scans on the computer, but it's thorough, man. That's the thing about Malwarebytes. Our dog says Malwarebytes is great, but it takes long. Yes, it does. So, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, Pat H wants to see challenges on this YouTube channel. But yeah, since she's asking, why not ask you guys? What would you guys like to see more of on this channel? You know what I mean? I could always get y'all's feedback. I don't know if it's something I would do, but what would you guys like to see as far as my videos? Are my videos getting too boring for you guys? Are they not informative for you? I have been doing a few device versus device videos, by the way. So if you haven't been paying attention to my channel, then that's okay. But I do have several device versus device videos already. So, okay, so let's see. Jigga Jig says, I got a virus, I think. Well, some porn on his computer. Oh, wow. Okay, I got you. All right. Well, hey, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with porn. Just, just stay away from those really weird websites, All right, I'm glad I have you guys here though. Shoot, let me see. Who did I have here with me earlier? Navi Nash, S Bear, are you still there? Art Dog, who else is here? No Life, No Life, are you still here with us, man? Or did you take off already? I don't even know. He might have taken off already. Yeah, I mean, device versus device videos, they're pretty fun to watch. I mean, because you can see definitely how, one device stacks up against the other. To me, though, I don't know. I feel like they're a little cliche at times, and I don't mind doing them, but um, so malware bytes will make me stop looking up gay porn. I don't know, man. I mean, that it might take the viruses off. I don't know if it's going to delete the stuff that your computer has on already, though. So just be aware of that. I can't, I don't think it's going to take it away, though. So, but anyways, that's pretty funny. How long have we been? I've already been on for an hour, guys. Wow. Sell it to Pornhub.com. Oh my gosh. You know what's really weird about that? I think if you can actually become a user on that website now, and you can submit stuff, and it's kind of like YouTube. Like if your videos get views, then you can get monetized, which is funny. Like for just having for having sex. It's not a topic I normally talk about, right? But but that's what I've heard, that people can actually post up their own content on Pornhub.com and they can actually get kickback from it. So, and that's the thing. Everybody, mostly everybody watches. So I don't know what to tell you guys there. I mean, maybe not everybody, but mostly everybody. Well, let's see. No Life said he had to go to sleep. Oh man, bummer. No Life went to bed. Jigga says there's a virus in his mind. I don't know why I keep doing it. I got to be like a Matrix virus or something like that. I don't know what to tell you, Jigga Jig. You might have to do a system restore on your computer if stuff that keeps happening on your actual computer, though, or just do the Windows go back. I don't know if Windows still has that feature where you can go back to a specific point in time and do that. I remember old Windows versions had that, and it works for the most part, but at the same time, like if you had stuff saved, whether it be pictures or music, videos, whatever, you would lose all that depending on if you were to go back in time. Man, I miss little features like that, by the way. But I think now it's very hard to lose any information that you have on a computer because they have the cloud. You can just upload anything to the cloud. All right, guys, let's continue this Q&A. I'm probably going to go on for a little while longer. Man, Google Pi's got a lot of good questions, by the way, guys. If you have not been paying attention to Google Pi's questions on the chat, you are missing out, okay? Before that, though, let me get to Art Dog's last comment. I think people really want to see phones, but I know most people can't buy phones all the time. That's kind of true. I mean, for the most part, like people, if you get a flagship device, you're going to spend between $800 to $1,200 nowadays. And my dog is sleeping, by the way. She's there in the background. Oh, they're all asleep, by the way. Henry's over here on the floor by the door, by the way. But yes, for the most part, a lot of people are not buying phones every year unless you're like a millionaire who can afford the new flagship device every time it comes out. I know phone companies have trade-in programs where, if you trade in your old device, or, if they have what, I don't know if they still do the iPhone Forever program or whatever, where, you can trade in your current phone for the next version and they'll give you like a discounted price, which there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, really, do you really need something that's marginally updated every year? Or do you want something that's going to just blow your mind? So Google Pi asked, what's the next step in phones? Something that changes everything. I mean, sadly, and I kind of don't want to say it, but I feel like foldable smartphones are going to be the next big thing when phone manufacturers get it right. You know what I mean? I think it's going to allow us to basically virtually eliminate the purpose of having a laptop to begin with. So foldable smartphones are going to be basically like tablet style devices, and it's going to allow you to do a lot more things, whether it be taking pictures, whether it be writing out an essay. Instead of having to carry around a laptop, you have something that you can put in your pocket that you can just fold out and boom, you know what I mean? And I'm talking about like, you know, boom, just like that. And I'm just going to be like here, you know, taking care of something all day, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I hope it's not, but I think, you know, as far as portable tech, you know, I mean, I don't think smartphones are going to change drastically over the next 10 years. Software, yes, and performance, yes, but drastically, no. Let's see. Our dog says, I think folds are supposed to be the next thing. And you know what the thing about foldable phones are? I don't think they're going to be for everybody. I think it's going to be to a catered niche of people that really have to really want to use the functions of that specific phone. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you know, what's the point? You know, I feel like why have something? Why do I need something that's going to take up this much, you know, retail space in my pocket? You know, just holding this is heavy for me. You know what I mean? I cracked the screen here. It sounded like something happened. But I don't need something that's that thick. Let's see. And yeah, phone companies are running out of ideas. I mean, yes, you know, you're seeing these little things like OnePlus with the motorized, you know, with the motorized selfie camera, or you're seeing the Oppo phone with the flippable camera where, you know, it'll have the camera here, and then when you want to move it to the back, it just flips. It has like a little motor also. Or you have the under the screen fingerprint sensor, which, you know, these are all innovative things, but they're really just things that were already implemented on the phones, just in a different way. You know what I mean? So it's not like fingerprint sensors are new. You know, they're just, hey, let's put it underneath the phone. But to me, like, you know, if you're catered to having the fingerprint sensor in the back, then why not just keep it back there? You know what I mean? Pat H says phone sales have dropped a lot recently, so they will be trying to catch people's attention with foldable and other eye-catching things like that. Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, because nowadays they make new phones every single year with minor changes. Before, we would get a new device every so often. And the changes were very extreme. Now it's just camera quality and minor updates, and that's true. I mean, for the most part, even like software changes are not a big deal anymore. Like, really, what has Apple done with their iPhone? Like, what major software change has happened within the last like 2 or 3 years, minus them moving their and I'll give you guys an example. Okay, I have to put in my password because it's not recognizing me. But like for most iPhone users, you're gonna bring up your shortcuts things from down here. If you have an iPhone 10, you have to do it from the top portion, which, you know, again, all of these little features were a big deal at one point, but at the same time, Android had all of this since like 2008 over here. So I remember when Apple came out with these little drop down menu bars and whatnot, that people were going crazy. They were like, "Oh, look at what I can do." And yes, Steve Jobs was a true innovator. You know, if it was not for Steve Jobs and, you know, his ideas and whoever worked around him, you know, we would not have something like this today. Maybe we would, but I don't think it would be as good as it is in 2019. You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, obviously Apple and iOS really set the bar, and, you know, Android, even though it's there and it's a freeware and anyone can use it, you know what I mean? Any phone manufacturer can slap their, you know, the software on it. You know, at the same time, you know, you have to have a good, you know, the good hardware to go with the system and how it runs. Otherwise, the phone is just not going to perform well, guys. You know what I mean? And we've seen it in the past with a lot of other smartphones, where yes, you know, the device could be fast and snappy and whatnot, but at the same time, it's always gonna lack something that I feel like Apple and iOS has a really whole complete thing going on for them. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, you know, that them with maybe a few other devices are more complete than anything else. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I'm just getting some chit chats over here. Kind of, not really. But yeah, Steve Jobs was a true innovator, guys. So I guess before I get off, guys, did you guys just have any last comments or questions for this specific YouTube channel? I've been live streaming for about an hour. No super chats tonight, unfortunately. Sad face. That's all right. But anywho, I mean, for the most part, you know, if you guys are still following my channel, I want to thank you guys. You know, just continue to see whatever video content I put out there. You know, please make comments in the videos. You know, if you like something, tell me you like it. If you don't like it, tell me why you don't like it, and vice versa. You know what I mean? I need to get the feedback from my viewers. Otherwise, how can I grow as a channel, right? If I'm just putting out the same stuff all the time, right? Pat H says maybe something cool to do on the channel would be like reviewing old tech like a Tamagotchi. Oh my god. Google Pie says in the future you should do live streams looking at your doggos sleep. Okay, look. I'm just gonna look at my dogs sleep. Look, there they are. Hold on, I'm gonna move my webcam over here. There's one of them, and the other one's right there, sleeping. Henry, I woke him up. They're sleeping. Sophia. 10 hours of watching your dog sleep. Are we gonna do Mr. Beast challenges over here now, or what? My dogs sleep a lot, by the way, but they don't sleep for 10 hours straight, okay? And imagine just recording something like that. By the way, there's that MacBook Pro that I keep telling you guys about. Again, it's sitting there. I'm not using it right now, but I do use it on occasion, guys. I'm thinking about selling it, actually, but only to buy another Mac. All right, Pat H says good night. We'll see you. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll start doing Mr. Beast type challenges and just do saying PewDiePie 100,000 times just to get viewers, right? We'll see how that goes, guys. But did any of you guys else have any other questions or comments before I get off? Of just throwing it out there, you know what I mean? Before I get off, let me take off my sunglasses. Oh, that felt so good, by the way. Because I'm blind. I'm literally blind when I'm wearing those. So let's see here. Okay. Google Pie, thanks for giving some love to my channel, by the way. You know, stay tuned to my videos. Check out my old videos. I mean, if you haven't gone through my videos, I have about 400 some videos already now. But check out the videos. Art Dog, thank you again for being a continuous subscriber, man. I appreciate it. You know, just keep an eye out on my content. You know, I'm going to try to continue live streaming at least once a week now. It's not going to happen every week. There's might be times where I might just feel too burned out from work, guys. But if you guys are, you know, requesting it, I do recommend you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter so that you can see what else I'm doing. Sometimes I'll post pictures or videos on those outlets as well as Facebook, guys. So again, guys, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys like my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, the one right back there. You see that? And as always, thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Okay, y'all have a good night.